Where is Persephone? Have you seen Persephone? Where is Persephone? Where is my daughter? Persephone has been stolen away by Hades, lord of the Underworld, to be his bride. She is his queen, ruling over smoke and shadow in the realm of the dead. Hades knew that Persephone's mother, Demeter, would never give permission for her daughter to be removed to the Underworld, so he kidnapped Persephone instead, desperate that she should be his own. Demeter searched high and low for the missing Persephone, until at last she learned of what Hades had done. In her grief and rage, Demeter struck the land barren, for she is the goddess of the harvest, and will allow no green thing to grow while her daughter is lost to her. Zeus, king of the gods, feared that all of humanity would perish in famine if Demeter continued to deny them crops, and so he bent to her will and commanded that Persephone be restored to her mother. Alas, by the time this decree was made, Persephone had already done the one thing which could bind her to the Underworld. She had eaten of its food, 6 pomegranate seeds. Zeus, unwilling to see the earth dead and barren forever, ordered a compromise. Rather than remaining in the Underworld permanently, Persephone must instead spend 6 months of each year in the realm of the dead with her husband, 1 month for each seed she ate. For these 6 months, Demeter mourns, and crops wither and die, and nothing grows. But then, at the end of the 6th month, Persephone is free to return to the land of the living, and when she does, she is heralded as the goddess of spring, for it is with her return that the earth comes to life again and plants begin to grow. For 6 months, Demeter rejoices, and the world is green once more. I hope you enjoyed that delve into Greek mythology. Now I'm going to show you how I achieved Persephone's makeup looks, starting off with her Queen of the Dead persona. The idea for this look was that I wanted to create a sort of smoky looking skull, as though the skull itself were actually made of smoke tendrils. I started by drawing the outline of a skull on my face with a nude eyeliner, and then I went in and painted all the areas that would be the skull itself, normally the white areas of a skull, black, using a cream makeup paint. Once I had the black base down, I started drawing the smoke wisps. I used a white cream and a thin brush and started drawing wavy and curling lines all over the black area. If you look at reference pictures of smoke, you'll see it generally is a lot of gray, highlighted by lighter white wisps in a few areas. So the first wisps you draw on your face should be pretty blended out to get that darker gray, misty look that makes it the body of the smoke. To achieve that, I would first draw in a thin white line, usually with the thin side of an angled brush. Then I would turn the brush on its side, or use a slightly larger brush, and go over the line again to smudge it out. The more times you go over one of the white lines, the more it will blend into the black. You want the first lines you draw to be pretty blended in, to give you that gray base, and then the subsequent lines can become less and less blended to give a layered and smoky appearance. Once I was satisfied with the smoky look of the skull, I went in and filled in the hollow areas with a black gel eyeliner. I added a few smoke curls going into those hollow areas, again just to make it look even more smoky. And I just filled in the inner edges of my nostrils so you couldn't see any skin there. After that, I set all of that gel eyeliner with a black shadow just to make sure it really wasn't going to go anywhere before setting the entire rest of my face with a whole lot of powder. You really want to make sure that those creams aren't going to budge. The translucent powder lightened up those black areas a little bit, so I just went in with a little bit more black shadow to darken them up again. And then it's time for teeth. I went in with some white cream paint again and drew in the teeth, blending out the edges just a little bit to make them a little bit more smoky. And of course, setting the white cream with some white eyeshadow. I didn't want the skull to just abruptly stop at my jawline, so I added some smoke trailing down my neck and arms as well. I concentrated it at my neck and then made it more and more diffuse the farther away from my face it got, as though the smoke sort of was trailing up and coalescing into a skull. To that end, I really only went in with new product on my neck, and then I would just take whatever was left on the brush and sort of drag it downwards, automatically giving a wispy, smoky look. Same as with the face, once I had the black down, I just went in with a little bit of white as well and blended it into the streaks. There was an area on my shoulder that I thought was a little too solid, so I went in with some makeup remover just to wisp it up a little bit. And that's it, just add your crown and you are ready to go as Queen of the Dead. Ready for round 2? It's time to do Persephone's spring makeup. I started off just by priming my face and eyes with my usual primers before going in with my foundation and blending it out with a sponge. If you recreate this and you're wearing a fairly open costume like I was, make sure your foundation is a very good match to your skin tone and also blend it down onto your neck so you don't have any harsh foundation lines. Once I had that foundation down, I went in with some cream contour because I did want the contouring for this look to be pretty dramatic. Blend, blend, blend. More blending. And then I went in with a cream highlighter just to cut that out even more. After that, it's concealer time, so I did under my eyes and then also around my nose and mouth where I can get some redness, and then of course more blending. Then I set it with some translucent powder to avoid creasing. Alright, moving on to the eyes. I started off with a cream eyeshadow that I applied all over the lid just to give me a nice even base as well as to set the primer that I put down. Then taking a matte lime green eyeshadow, I started applying it basically randomly to my eyes. To me, spring means nature and nature means wild, so I wanted to avoid symmetry and make both eyes look different from each other. Once that was blended out, I took a darker matte green shadow and started stippling that again sort of randomly over the areas where I had put that lime green shadow down. I wanted to get a dappled light effect, so I'm just patting this shadow on rather than blending it out. Then taking a third darker green shadow, again I'm just patting it on in random spots over those other two green shadows. Then I filled in all of the areas that didn't have green eyeshadow with a white matte eyeshadow. So on the lids, on the brow bone, under the eyes, anywhere that wasn't green became white. For a finishing touch, I went in over all of the white areas with a shimmery cream shadow. Time for brows! Nothing special for brows, I basically just filled them in the way I normally do. For me, this is just filling in the natural shape of my brows with a brow pencil and then going in with a brow gel afterwards. Cheekbones, cheekbones, cheekbones. I just went in with some powder contour over the areas that I cream contoured earlier. Here's something cool. I am taking a yellow eyeshadow and applying it all over my cheeks and forehead, down my jawline, side of my neck. I'm also going to put some on my ears, just to add even more color to this spring look. And then I took a peachy blush and just put that on my cheeks where you normally put blush. What would a spring look be without some glow? I took a light gold powder highlight and applied it very liberally to my face, my ears, my shoulders, my collarbones, basically everywhere. And for an even more intense highlight, I took a white powder highlight and applied it just to the top of my cheekbones and a little bit on the center of my face to give some dimension. Remember when I said I only applied the peachy blush to my cheeks? I lied. I also put some on my neck and also on the tip of my nose before setting my face with setting spray. For some extra bling and sparkle, I put down some nail crystals onto my eyes, just using some eyelash glue. Again, just no rhyme or reason wherever I thought they looked good on my eyes. Then I took a light shimmery eyeliner to my waterline and curled my lashes. I thought the green eyeshadow was missing a little something, so I went back in with a metallic green shadow and just put it all over those other green areas. Tightlining, super flattering angle. I chose a pair of lashes that weren't too solid because I did want to be able to see all of the pretty eyeshadow through the lashes, and just pop those on with some eyelash glue before applying mascara to blend them to my natural lashes. Of course, gotta add bottom lash mascara. And then I just went in with some black gel liner to line the inner corners of my eye so that they would match the lash band. And then I went over the lash band with the same black liner to cover up any glue that might be visible. Wanted some more plastic gems, added some more plastic gems. Cleaned off some glue that I got on the end of my lash. We're done with the eyes. Time for some lip art. So I did the lips to resemble a butterfly, and I wanted to match them to the purple butterflies on my costume, so I used a lilac liquid lipstick. You can of course do whatever butterfly color you choose. After I filled in the lip, I outlined them using some black gel liner. This is really hard because you want to get them as clean as possible. Of course, you can always go in and clean them up afterwards like I did. I took some makeup remover on a brush, wiped it off with a cotton bud, and then re-outlined in concealer to make sure that those lines were really crisp. If you do outline your lips with concealer, make sure you blend that concealer out really well because there's nothing more awkward than having a white line around your mouth. Also, make sure that you set the concealer with powder. For the butterfly pattern, I basically just referenced the ones on my costume, so I went in and drew some little circles, again asymmetrically because asymmetry is the theme of this look. So I did 3 on one side and 2 on the other, first drawing the black circle outline and then filling them in with a white cream. It would be better to fill them in with a white liquid liner or a white liquid lipstick, but I had neither of those, so I didn't. I did add the white circles to the upper lip as well. Lastly, I added some black lines like butterflies have to segment their wings. Again, I just used the butterflies on my costume as a reference. Use whatever reference photo you like and kind of draw butterfly-y lines. Mine ended up looking sort of like cherry stems, so one line going up to the center of my lips and then the second line next to it connecting to it. Since I did the white spots with a cream, I just set them with a powder to make sure they wouldn't smudge. And voila, one spring goddess look. I hope you enjoyed seeing me create both sides of Persephone. This is my entry for the 2018 NYX Face Awards. I had a ton of fun making it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Greek myth is. Thanks for watching. See ya!